Okay, in this lab we're going to use the for loop, which is very similar to what we did last week with regards to the use of the for each loop with arrays, but obviously there are no arrays here. We're just going to use the straightforward for loop. And what we want to do is to create a script which uses a for loop to count from 1 to 10. And obviously you will need to set up a variable to hold the value and set its initial value to 0. And then just a quick reminder, because this is easy to forget, if you want the loop to actually be able to exit at some point and not be stuck in an infinite loop, you will need to make sure that you have a value added to it each time it iterates. So your finished output will look something like this. Okay, so back into write code online, and start off with the for statement, lowercase, and then we're going to set it to app so that we have our first variable initialized, and we're simply going to call this variable x. I know it's not descriptive, but it will do for now. So x equals, and then we're going to set it up so that the value begins at 0. So x equals 0, followed by a semicolon, because that's the end of that statement. We're then going to have our what's known as our test counter. In other words, how many times are we going to iterate? So we're going to have while x is less than or equal to 10. Oops, that should be a less than, not a comma. While x is less than or equal to 10, and then again, your second semicolon, because this is a new statement. I'm just going to put space between them to make it a little bit easier to read. And then finally, like I said, you need to make sure that you add 1 onto the value each time it iterates. So we're going to use an increment operator, which is simply the variable name plus plus. Close your brackets, open your curly brace, and go to the next line where it will automatically indent. Use the print statement, and what we're going to be outputting each time is simply the number is, and obviously make sure that you've used double quotation marks, call the variable. We don't want it running on a single line, we want it to each time be on a new line, so we're going to use the break tag. And then your semicolon, that's the end of that statement, and don't forget to close your curly brace. Okay, so fairly simple syntax. Click on run code, and this is what you're going to see. If you decided that you wanted to start from 1, then obviously you would need to initialize it to start from 1. Okay, so copy and paste the code and go on to the next lab.